So, what we're here for, Elite Controller Xbox One. I just bought one, and this is a review of sorts. Um, I'm not going to go into all the unboxing and bits and bobs like that. I'm going to go about functionality and whether it's right for you, because I was umming and ahhing at first when they come out. I thought they were a fad. And then, thank you too. I took the plunge. The reason I bought one was The Division. I don't really play Halo games like that. So yeah, it was just pressing the D-pad and something quick access like left bumper, holding on your abilities, things like that. I thought it might make use of an extra button. So I went out, bought one, cried at the price. And I've had a couple of days usage out of it. So hopefully I'm going to convince you whether to get one or whether to save your money and if it's right for you. So there she is. Looks nice. Got all the paddles on. And that's where we'll start the paddles. Right, first things first, what I've noticed is I've got a usual controller. When I play this, I grip it quite hard. That's how I hold it. You probably do the same. Some people I know sort of crab claw it, things like that. But that's how I hold it. I get a good solid grip. You know, I've done fine up to yet. What I've found with this so far is you hold it, and especially for the price, you sort of, because your paddles are so sensitive at the back, you sort of feather holding it, and even though there's a grip, I mean obviously you can take them out, and they do come out really easy. Once you hold it like that, again, I mean the grip on the front's fantastic. It's sort of a rough mat if you like, and then you've just got this bit on the back which is meant to be the grip, and I find that more slippy. But then you can, it does feel a little bit slippier than what I would say a normal pad does. The build quality though, I mean this pad I've got here is not bad, but the first controller I got day one, you could, you know, a bit creaky on the sides. You can pop these off fairly easy. Analog sticks feel a bit, you know, loose, so to speak. Where these you get a nice twang when they come back in a smoother motion. But yeah, the grip itself, I do feel it's a little less secure in your hand than what would be a normal controller. Back to the paddles. Without them, you can get a good solid grip, but with them in, I've found, especially the longer paddles that come down the sides here, so make sure I've got this in the right way, that one. Sorry, working backwards. Once you've got these in, you can find it a little bit, I don't know, not uncomfortable, but you just sort of keeping your fingers off because they're so sensitive. I mean, I found it in the Division when you start, or if you start losing grip of the paddle, you move and then you'll just tap the trigger and then that's it, that's one of your abilities gone. Or whatnot. I've tried, because these will fit in anywhere, sort of flipping to the other side and having it up. That makes it a little bit better if you have, let me find a little paddle again. If you have it sort of like that, if you can see, it makes it a little bit more comfortable, because the little paddles I think are great, and then you can sort of there, but it doesn't just feel, if it's alright then. I think it's personally better like that, but we can find them because that's sticking out, it can start getting a little bit sore on your finger after prolonged gaming. So what I would suggest there is going on to the Xbox website, xbox.com, and ordering a new set of these. 12 quid for, you know, if you're British. I think it's $16 if you're American. And for that, you just go onto the service page, you know, like where you request a repair, and then you go down, and it'll come up a lead controller, and that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be ordering a new set. You get all 4, and I'm just going to have 4 smaller paddles in. What next? Triggers. I have that one goes all the way in. And that one, your trigger stops. I don't know if you can see the difference there. That's all the way in, halfway. Little did I know I did have both of them on, with the trigger stops on. Does it help? Again, I've only really played the Division and a quick game of Black Ops, and yeah, I mean, I'm one for feathering the controller anyway, so if that's something that you're used to doing anyway, this is something you've got to take into consideration. But I do find it of value, especially on single shot weapons, things like that, where you're not going all the way down, where every second counts. One feature you can do as well is go into the advanced settings and change it so basically the trigger sensitivity is there, so if you can really feather the controller, and that's the same for most buttons, and your sticks, you can change all the analog settings. It's not something I've done yet, but yeah, I think that is a good feature with the trigger stops. Profile wise, this is something that a couple of friends have asked me before they make the plunge, is can you save multiple profiles and things like that. Well, on the controller itself, you've got a switch 1 and 2, so yeah, you can save as many profiles as you like. I've got one set up for the Division and one for Black Ops at the minute. Again, I've got paddles on the Division, for example. I've got sort of left bumper, right bumper, left bumper, so yeah, that works same as that. And then these two are left and right on the D-pad, so it just makes it easier if I want a grenade, just dump my finger in, or you know, whatever the case may be, and we're good to go. There we go. I thought we'd had encountered a problem already there. I'll just not set it back in its thing right. Take them out a minute. But yeah, you can switch on the fly. So say if you've got, I don't know, one for Forza with gear changes, automatic clutch, whatever the case may be, and one for Gears of War, where you've got melee or whatever, grenades. You just switch. You can set one to each and then switch it across, and then it's easy as that. In the actual menu itself, you can see what seems to be an infinite amount of profiles, and it takes you probably 15 seconds to just go into your settings, select one, and then map it to 1 or 2. Mapping the buttons, again, you can map all the face buttons, all these. It's pretty easy. You can either do it manually, like select one and then map it to, or I don't know, say if you've got your triggers in, your paddles, you can hold one down for a couple of seconds and it'll come up and say remap to what button. So that left trigger, so I don't know, bottom right paddle, hold it down, it'll pop up, and it'll say remap to right bumper. So right bumper will then be on that, and so on and so forth for all your buttons. Durability wise, again, it feels so much more solid than, I mean, nothing's going to compare to the 360 pad. But I had a day one controller. I bought this one Christmas time, and you can hear that. But it's a bit creaky still. They do feel a bit tacky. They're not the greatest of designs, weak innards. My day one controller broke. It got stick drift, and one of the bumpers went a bit clicky. With these, still have a click, but it's a bit more mouse clicky, so I've just got Ori on for some reason. But it does feel a lot more solid in your hand. It doesn't feel like you're going to break it, sort of. We'll come to that. What I have found with it though is, because you pay a lot of money, like 120 quid, you sort of baby it a little bit, so you really subliminally more careful with it, so it might give you a little bit of time getting used to it. Because especially with the paddles and things, your hands are getting used to something new again. So it can take a bit of a toll on your hands. It's a little bit heavier, not great deals. I've got the official battery pack in, which adds a bit of weight. That's one of the major gripes. Something that's cost you 120 quid. I can't see why they don't either go the PlayStation route and having a battery already in there, or sending out a official battery pack with it anyway. But weight wise, I mean, I've heard people say, oh, it takes a toll on the wrist and things like that. I can't see that, to be honest with you. Everything's held together with magnets. Again, another thing of mine, I think is going to start flying about all over the way. I mean, they're not the world's strongest magnets, but you ain't got to worry about anything falling off. My one major gripe on this, and it's not a lot, and I don't really use the D-pad. I mean, I keep the circular one in. I just think it is comfortable. It does feel nice, but if you were to press it hard, you can see that it sort of pops up and lifts up a little bit. It's nothing major. Again, it just pops off and there's a magnet underneath. That's plastic, by the way. It's not rubber, which I thought it would have been. So it gives it a bit more stability. It just clips back in. Stick wise, again, it's just that part that comes away, not the actual thing. Not that I'm sure you'd think it would. I haven't really tried many of the sticks. I normally have my shorter one on the left hand one, and I have tried the longer one on the right analog stick on Call of Duty. It seemed alright, to be honest with you. I've not used the domed sticks yet. I mean, they're really smooth, so like your thumb can slide about all over them. So I presume they would come in a bit more useful on something like FIFA, where you need a bit more precision in your swooping your sort of stick around, maybe a fighting game. And I've not used the normal D-pad yet. Again, I don't tend to use the D-pad too much anyway. And then the cable, mine's still, you get a sort of fabric armoured charge cable in there. Not used mine yet because I've got two playing charge kits. That's one that's unused, so I've got another one that's plugged into my Xbox. Case, pretty durable, pretty snazzy, typical. It comes, got a little bit of I don't know, pop something in there. What I found though is you can't pop too much in. I thought, oh, I'll pop my cable in there, but when your pad's sat in the box and you try and shut it, you can't, because of the analog sticks, and you get a little bit of sponge just to support it. And then everything fits snug in there. I read somewhere that things will fall out of here. You can pop your paddles in and things, but I can't see how they fit really snug in there. But that's enough of that, because we're on about the controller. So, is it worth 120 quid, or 150 quid, or 170 or dollars, or whatever you're paying? Yeah, maybe. If you really feel you need one, and you're going to benefit from it. I mean, I play a lot of games. And it was just something that, playing the Division, a game which I'm enjoying now, it needed, because using the D-pad when you're in combat, I don't think's great on any game. I can't think of any other games but that you do that on off the top of my head. But you know, it's you want to be fast and focused. Like I presume Halo's got something like switching grenades or something. You don't want to be taking your fingers off the analog sticks while you're firing, so you've got your fingers here that can be switching grenades for you, or as I have it, I've got, like I say, my medipacks that touch a button now. I've got my abilities as well. So if I'm firing, I can click my abilities in rather than coming off the triggers. So that's the same with your bumpers as well. As racing games, you've got your, won't matter too much, but you've just got your clutch. So for a more, I don't know, like a flappy paddle gearbox sort of thing, maybe more immersive, bits something like that. Sticks, I've not played about it with the sticks enough yet. I'm not playing any major first-person shooters at the minute to really compare. I'll dabble on Black Ops, but that's generally zombies, so it's not really going to give me any edge there. I've got into Evolve. One game that I used to play a lot of is Battlefield. I don't play that anymore. Hardline is terrible, and 4 is just off my list at the minute. But you've got to look at a long-term investment. I mean, we've got some MMOs coming out, DC Universe Online, Final Fantasy 14's rumoured, and then you've got things like Neverwinter, things like that. So it's on them games. If you've got something like, I don't know, using your face buttons as such, and if you've got AoE attacks and things, you can be using everything under here. The one thing that I do wish though is that your paddles could have a full remap, where as if, for example, I used to have a controller on PlayStation 1 where I don't know, say if you have to hold LB and then press A down to get LB to get your secondary skill wheel up, then press A, you could map a button on this controller that I had to do that, so both buttons are pressed, whereas this, all you're remapping these is anything that you've got on your face. So you can't do individual mappings or commands, if you like. But again, I just think it's handy, like on some, I think it was Neverwinter, you had abilities sort of mapped to your bumpers, and it just doesn't feel natural sometimes fighting with these, so fighting on the back again will help. Same with sprint. I mean, I'm pretty sure that clicking down on your left analog stick and your right analog stick while you're moving them about as well is going to take its toll on your analog sticks. So mapping melee and melee and jump, or melee and sprint, melee, sprint and jump to the back, and getting used to these is something that could give lifelong duration to your pad, or give it a longer duration anyway. Can't think of much else. Trigger stops, again, to me that's the one of the big godsends, I suppose, because like I said, I do like Featherbait, just does give you a little bit more reflex time. As I say, I've not played with the actual settings yet, but I could see something being a value where you've got the insta shot. But the only thing for that is I wish, I know on some of the other pads, third party controllers, they have adjustable screws where you can get your trigger stop sort of like instantly. I would have preferred that, like a double click, but it does help. There is a difference. Bottom of the controller there, you've got your headphone jack and adapter jack. Now the only thing that I haven't done, and I'm going to try it now because I haven't played with friends since getting this, I've sort of just dabbled about on my own, but you give me a second and I'll try and tell you what it feels like, because it did cross my mind. So I've got a Turtle Beach headset. What it's going to be like with the paddles in, so let us see. So if I chuck that in that side, that in that side, there's been I've read some reviews as well on the first waves of these that there was some creaking, if you like, on the controller, and it felt a bit flimsy. Now, unless I'm just really fortunate, put them in the wrong way, I think. Yeah, I have. Unless I'm really fortunate, mine's working absolutely fine. I think the back, because the button's not actually inside, where you can see the paddles fitting on there. Look, that little green bit there, or there, that's the actual button that you're pressing, and the hole's just a support for your arm. So I think that's a bit cheeky, and there's just like a little nodule on there. These are really sensitive though. As I say, with them all in, as they were. I'm going to get 2 more of these and pop them in there. And some people have said, "Oh, Dremel them off and that," but I'd rather not do that just in case. As you prolong, like the first couple of hours with the pads, like I say, I was sort of like holding hands off, and it just felt like you just sort of like a newborn and you didn't know what to do with it, or a little puppy or something. Like, oh, I don't want to drop you. But as time's gone on, you do start to learn. But my main gripe, I know I'm coming off track here a little bit, but if you got to readjust, like I'm doing, I don't know if you can hear it on telly, I'm firing ability orbs off left, right and centre just because I've literally caught that one, or it tends to be these two, because you can't get a full-on grip around the pad, like hold it tight sort of thing. But anyway, in she goes. Yeah, adds nothing to it. That, I mean, the only little thing is I can feel it just sort of there a little bit because your fingers are hovered off the pad rather than being wrapped around, but it's not really gonna add anything to it or any more problems. So that's not something that I'm worried about. But yeah, that's it really. I don't think I've missed anything. Just to give you an idea of how I use mine. I know I've rambled on a bit. How everything works, how it's put together, what it feels like, is it worth it? So again, it's up to you. I'll benefit from mine. Like Division's a big game that I'm playing with at the minute, but it doesn't feel unnatural like having these buttons there. I don't know if that's just me. I've adapted to it quite well, but some people say, oh, you know, it's hard, like juggling. Yeah, I don't see how it is hard really. It's just that, and it's buttons that you've already got. It's not like a PC where you've got a keyboard and you've got to remember what number 1 does, F1 does, enter, up, down, left, right, square, circle, triangle, X, R, B, R, B, square, circle, start does, or anything like that. Changing on the fly, good idea. But yeah, you can wait a little while until it drops in price. I'm not sure if they will because they're still fairly out of stock. But yeah, I mean, if you've got any questions, pop it down below and I'll get back if there's anything that I've missed or you feel that I've not covered quite well enough. Final justification is, do I regret paying for it? No. Would I buy another one? Yes. Has it benefited me so far? Yep. I mean, I'm just, like I said, I'm playing Ori at the minute. Great game, by the way. And is it adding anything to the game? No. It just feels solid in my hands. Division definitely tenfold helps. Evolve, not so much. Nothing really there that I need. Black Ops, yes, helped. The precision stick just felt a bit weird to me. It's something that I'm going to give another go with. But having sprint, melee and things like this as well, just there because it's sort of a panic thing if you've got melee there and you but also crouch on the bottom. Just getting down quickly rather than, you know, again, fingers off there, aiming. You've got to come across here, crouch, jump, sprint, melee. There's a setup for you if you like, and air trigger, and away you go. So yeah, I'm going to stop waffling on now because I feel that I've bored you to death anyway, and I'm sure you've not enjoyed looking at my ugly mug. Yes, I am still in my pyjamas. And that's it. So yeah, any questions, and we'll go from there.